Name the 6 simple machines: lever, pulley, wheel, and axle, inclined plane, screw, and gear. Explain resonance and how it can be hazardous to aircraft. Resonance happens when something vibrates at its natural frequency and the vibration builds up. This can damage parts and spread to nearby parts. Tip: resonance equals vibration overload. Explain the relationship between the density of a fluid and specific gravity. Specific gravity equals the fluid's density divided by water's density. Water's specific gravity is 1. Higher density means higher specific gravity. Explain how specific gravity is used in aircraft maintenance. Mechanics measure specific gravity with a hydrometer to check things like battery fluid or fuel weight. If the temperature of a confined gas increases, what happens to its pressure? The pressure goes up or 2. Tip: hot gas equals higher pressure. If the volume of a gas increases while pressure stays the same, what happens to its temperature? The temperature goes down. Tip: bigger space equals cooler gas. If the pressure of a confined gas increases, what happens to its temperature? The temperature goes up. Tip: squeezed gas equals heat. Hydraulic and pneumatic systems both use fluids. What's the difference? Hydraulic fluid is liquid and can't be compressed. Pneumatic fluid is air and can be compressed. Define density. Density is how much mass is in a certain volume, like pounds per cubic foot. Define density altitude. It's the pressure altitude corrected for non-standard temperature. Tip: density altitude equals pressure altitude plus temperature correction. Name the 3 methods of heat transfer: conduction, convection, and radiation. What are the effects of thermal expansion on aircraft? Metal expands with heat. If not designed for it, stress and damage can occur. Tip: heat makes metal grow. Name the 4 forces acting on an aircraft in flight: lift, weight, thrust, and drag. Explain the 4 forces acting on an aircraft. Lift pushes up, weight pulls down, thrust moves forward, drag resists backward. Name the 3 axes of rotation of an airplane: longitudinal, lateral, and vertical. Where do the 3 axes meet on an airplane? At the center of gravity. Name the 3 flight controls and which axes they move around. Ailerons roll around the longitudinal axis. Elevator pitches around the lateral axis. Rudder yaws around the vertical axis. Define angle of attack. It's the angle between the wing's chord line and the oncoming air. Explain a stall. A stall happens when the angle of attack gets too big, airflow separates, and lift is lost. Tip: too steep equals stall. Explain the relationship between force, area, and pressure. Force equals pressure times area. Name the 5 stresses that affect aircraft structures: tension, compression, torsion, bending, and shear. Explain tension. A pulling apart force. Tip: tension equals pull. Explain compression. A pushing together force. Tip: compression equals crush. Explain torsion. A twisting force. Tip: torsion equals twist. Explain bending. Bending combines tension on one side and compression on the other. Tip: bend equals pull plus push. Explain shear. A cutting or sliding force. Tip: Shear equals slice. Name the two forms of energy and explain each. Potential energy is stored. Kinetic energy is moving. Tip. Potential equals parked. Kinetic equals kicking. What is matter? Matter is anything that takes up space and has weight. What are the three states of matter? Solid, liquid, and gas. Tip. Ice, water, and steam show all three. What is energy? Energy is the capacity to do work. Tip. Energy equals ability to get things done. What's the formula for work? Work equals force times distance. Tip. Push times how far you push equals work. How do you find the mechanical advantage of pulleys? Count the number of ropes holding the weight. Tip. More ropes equals less effort. How do you find the mechanical advantage of gears? It's the ratio of the teeth on the drive gear to the driven gear. Tip. Big gear driving small gear equals more speed, less power. What is the fulcrum of a lever? It's the pivot point where the lever rotates. Tip. Seesaw center point equals fulcrum. What are examples of levers? First class, screwdriver as a pry bar. Second class, wheelbarrow. Third class, retractable landing gear. What is pressure? Pressure is force per unit area. Tip. Same force on a small area equals high pressure. What's standard sea level pressure? 29.92 inches of mercury. What controls the speed of sound in air? Temperature. Tip. Hotter air equals faster sound. What is absolute zero? The temperature where all molecular motion stops. Tip. Absolute zero equals absolute stillness. What is Bernoulli's principle? Faster fluid equals lower pressure. Tip. Airplane wing. Fast air on top. Low pressure equals lift.